with Suge looking like he got a good chance of, you know what I'm saying, getting up off all that time. It's been about 9 years. I mean, they was trying to give Eric Holder what Eric Holder was trying to get the manslaughter for Nipsey Hussle, and he would have got something like 11, 12 years. If that he did that intentionally, and if he would have got the manslaughter, would have got 11 to 12 years, then the manslaughter, if Suge get it, knocked down to that because they don't want all this to come out, right? Suge time would be up. What do you think is going through the biggest hater, the thief, confidential source 137, ex-dirty police officer who's uniquely the only suspect in the Biggie and a suspect and an informant on the Biggie case, murder investigation, and the Tupac murder investigation? That piece of shit, right? What you think he's doing and thinking right now? What's going to be his response? What about CS2 back? Hey, CS2 back, what up?
What up? Hey, listen, hey, I heard this old stupid ass formal shit you niggas is doing. Hey, fuck you niggas. Fuck that nigga. He ain't coming home. Yeah.
You don't want him to come home. Why do you want to keep another black man in prison? He hurt you that bad? Reggie told me the reason you hate Suge so much.
I'm making money off of this. I'm making money off of my lives. I mean, off of my lives.
yeah, with a panel full of rats, man. But I think them niggas is shaking like snitches at a gangster party. Because if you don't know, Reggie Wright tried to line Suge up by getting Tanisha Swan, taking her to meet the DEA, Greg Caden, what's the other boy name? Darren Dupree, Greg Caden's partner, right? By taking them to the DEA office and telling them Suge Knight paid her, gave her 20-some thousand, and she paid Poochie for the assassination of Biggie Small.
Damn.
A false narrative, but the same thing. But he's a suspect in a lot of murders, but he wore the wire on the mayor of Compton, admittedly, right? But he claims he's a gangster / dirty cop. He's fucked up mentally, bro. I think his daddy really fucked him up mentally. He's a dirty piece of shit, just like his daddy. You know
hey, it wasn't my dad, it was my uncle.
Oh, yeah, CS2 back. He's still traumatized, huh? Hey, nasty work.
No more back doors. No more back doors.
CS2 back doors, you know what I'm
saying? CS2 back doors is crazy.
Diabolical. Damn. But look, man, let's get into these comments and then we're going to end it. We've been on here for a minute. Keefy D ain't do shit. Damn sure ain't kill Pop, but he is guilty of being stupid.
Hey,
Reggie Wright. Veggie Wright. You know what I'm saying? We were supposed to have a peace treaty, but since you want to come at somebody on our team, since you over there sucking dick, back to
talked to Suge.
No, Veggie has not talked to Suge. And the reason why, because you try to line Suge up on a murder case, nigga. A fucking confidential source. But you know what? Shout out my boy Scandalous Los Angeles TV. Shout out my boy The Smokey Show. And because we working on something. And Reggie, we gonna introduce you to the world since you want to be on YouTube. We gonna put a mirror in front of your face and introduce you to yourself. Narcissistic piece of shit. We out of here, man. Down with Keyway Conversation.
WGU offers more than 40 real-world ready bachelor's degree programs.
Wow, yeah, they said Reggie Wright Jr. drove should be to the DEA office to try to put that murder on Suge. They say that Suge, his baby mama went in there and said that Suge gave Poochie the money to kill Biggie. And, yeah, we go dodge some more into some of that. You know what I'm saying?
I was in jail about 6 months. He was coming. He's coming like a mother, talking shit. You never get out. Woo, woo. So once Rafael Perez broke in there and stole that motherfucking shit, then I seen the investigation was going towards the cops. We want the cops. We don't want you, TPD. Like, you tell us about the cops. I know it's a lot of crooked cops. And I could have turned in them Reggie, them David Mack, them, you know what I'm saying? I didn't say a motherfucking thing, but their whole focus returned to the cops. Yeah, once Rafael Perez broke in the evidence room, yeah, they whole investigation, cause they was coming to see me, trying to get. They said, "You the rapper killer." They said, "You killed Tupac and Biggie." Like, damn, you know, he killed no Tupac or Biggie. Yeah, and they like, "You ain't ever getting out." Yeah.
Do you, based on what you know, do you think that that's the person who killed Biggie, or do you think it was someone else?
I think the Popo.
Okay. You think it was the police?
Yeah.
So you know,
I think it's Suge boys. I think it was Suge police friends.
Okay.
His crew.
Right, because at one point you were locked up with David Mack.
Yes.
David Mack was allegedly affiliated with Death Row.
Exactly.
He robbed a Bank of America for $700,000 while he was a cop.
Yeah. They did that sweep on us. It was 70 Crips. They put us all in jail. The FBI did a sweep on us. And so we was in the holding tank down there, all of us. And this motherfucker in PC. There's a dude in PC, and this motherfucker keep on hollering out my fucking name. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck is this? So once we got on the elevator, the U.S. Marshal dude was like, man, that's that police one with David Mack. I'm like, oh shit, how the fuck he know me? I guess they had some pictures of me ready to, you know, do their thing on me. But I move way smoother than, I move different, you know what I'm saying? Yes. So it'd be hard to get me.
Right, because Rafael Perez, he got locked up as well, right?
Yeah.
And he was also allegedly affiliated with
But, you know, I was a part of that whole investigation. The first ship, they wanted me and Suge. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The people down the major crime units, they wanted me and Suge and the U.S. attorneys. Then I said once Rafael Perez did that shit, I see where the whole shit shifted, where they wanted the police, the crooked cops, you know what you think about them? And I don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know shit. Yeah. But I seen where they whole investigation turned.
Did you see David Mack and Perez at the event at the Peterson Motel?
They were all there. Yes, they were there.
Because the LAPD now have sort of come up with a whole other theory.
Outside of the police.
Yeah.
I'm sure they did. What's their theory?
That a gang member called Poochie shot and killed Biggie.
You know, really, it doesn't matter who pulled the trigger, although I wouldn't agree with that. But what I would say is any gang member that was to shoot or kill Biggie could have only done so with police involvement and support. It would have been impossible. They were everywhere. It was, you don't have an event that's a party after the Soul Train Awards, and especially in LA, and there's that many Black people, and you think the police aren't everywhere, they're everywhere. It doesn't work that way. So there has to be compliance. They were complicit in everything that happened that had to do with Death Row. I knew David very well. I was actually quite shocked when I saw David and he was in LAPD. Very surprised. And he came with me to the video shoot when we were doing Mac Mall and Ray Love's video shoot. Found out he was working with all the rappers I knew off duty and a lot of other cops that I knew.
Biggie's killing that night have kept a secret for 24 years.
I didn't want to do interviews for years. It was dangerous. It's dangerous to know anything. I would put money on LAPD's involvement, you know. They're all not on the force anymore, so I guess it doesn't matter, but.
The LAPD did not welcome this FBI investigation and set up their own, looking for evidence to counterattack the Biggie Smalls lawsuit. Greg Kading was the head of Operation Transparency.
Yeah, so as that lawsuit kind of weaved in and out of the courts, it came to a point where the LAPD realized that, in civil court, just about anything could happen. And they thought it would be in their best interest to re-look at the case.
The city of LA prevented the lead FBI investigator, Phil Carson, from testifying at the trial.
They said, yeah, you're not looking into solving a murder. You're looking into solving a murder that involved the LAPD orchestrating it. They said, you guys got to squash this subpoena because if Phil testifies, we got at least a 50-50 chance of losing a $500 million lawsuit. And to be honest with you, they're right. I think it's better than a 50-50 chance.
We know all about everything. Then once, I was in jail about 6 months. Cause he was coming. He was coming like a mother talking shit. You never get out, ooh. So once Rafael Perez broke in there and stole that motherfucking shit, then I seen the investigation was going towards the cops. We want the cops. We don't want you, TPD. Like, you tell us about the cops. I know it's a lot of crooked cops. And I could have turned in them Reggie, David Mack, you know what I'm saying? I didn't say a motherfucking thing, but their whole focus was turned to the cops.
If you're looking for red flags of the LAPD having a real problem, red flags that came out before Rampart, certainly OJ and Mark Furman were one. Of course, Rodney King was another. Somehow it didn't go deep enough to convince people that that kind of reform had to go forward. I think the image of the LAPD, as far as in law enforcement circles, if you're an aspiring cop, the LAPD remained at the pinnacle until now, until Rampart.
The LAPD's Rampart Station is steeped in tradition, even depicted in the opening of Adam 12, ironically the TV show that inspired Rafael Perez to become a cop. And the area it covers is at the very heart of that mythical world of LA crime, from Raymond Chandler to gangster rap.
I'm serious, you take another step, I'm going to...
Are there any bats? No. Are there any snakes? No? You sure?
Fuck your enemies, nigga, prepare the type. Tonight's the night, murder, Mr. Lucifer. Hear my closest roll call.
Accessibility options.
Russell was good. Regional was good. M30 was good. Get them legs up for me respectfully.
So there's no need to ask. I'm with my home place, remember me. Tony BET, casting full of Tennessee. We throw a lot, niggas, watch for a second coming. Cause I can see the sun pouring out and jump out, making all the niggas run from the future, escaping from the fall, living life like a whole nigga. Me and my closest road, just three blocks, little lost in a bar. We can be tight, searching for a life, but not inside. I know God see a nigga start watching space, trapped in this river residence. Soccer best, we can move the smash, the cash is all we wanted. With the desire inspired.
If you just tapping in, Russell was good. Regional was good. M30 was good. Get them legs up for me respectfully. We got some shit to talk about. Respectfully, we got some shit to talk about.
I'm sitting on the body, can't get the ground in me, you can ask Bobby, slick shooter and looter, kill a smoke the shooter, man, this stuff you know you can't get a little cuter, money at home, special reason that Respectfully, Capo status. If you just tapping in, I want to talk about the bank robbery that David Mack did in 9/7. David Mack did the bank robbery in 9/7, the 722K to be exact, according to the bank. I want to talk about Reggie Jr. I want to talk about Reggie Jr.'s down payment to the 250K for Puffy and Biggie. All right, that's not cool. Let's go. So according to the New York Times, well, the California Times, because y'all know I'm still in LA. Still in LA. Get the mics up for me respectfully. Nation New, I see you. Fred Jenkins was good. Corey Kelly was good. All right, so I'm going to just say briefly, without even reading all of the dialogue in the article, that these dudes had help. There was a teller, a female teller that led David Mack all the way to the vote. There was a bank manager that ordered the bag. They ordered 700, whatever the order of money was. The Brinks truck came, the armored truck came, bring the money, dropped it off, right? And I'm talking to John Hyland from Butt First, because I know he be watching my channel. I'm talking to John Hyland and Reggie Jr. Because as soon as we finish linking all these people back to Reggie, I'm going to ask you, what do your channel stand on? Now, according to the California article here, is it going too fast? Let me slow it down for you. I was going to do a topic on this, but you know what? I love you. I love every one of you guys that support my channel, been supporting my channel. Now, according to this article, and if you just tapping in, this is the article they printed in California when David Mack robbed that bank, right? And they sent him to jail. They never found.
When it gets colder, it's a good idea.
Just into CNN, Las Vegas police have arrested a suspect in connection with the 1996 drive-by shooting death of legendary rapper Tupac Shakur. CNN's Camila Bernal joins us live right now, along with CNN legal analyst Joey Jackson. So first to you, Camila, what are we learning about this arrest?
Hey, Boris, sources telling CNN that they have arrested Dwayne Keith Davis, also known as Keffy D. He was arrested this morning, according to sources, in connection with the
That's going to jeopardize a lot. You know, that's
and the LAPD, I feel they made a mistake because they was directing traffic out instead of taping the whole thing off. I've been in scenes where they make everybody stay till they interview everybody.
Around the time of Suge Knight's trial, so Suge had been arrested in Los Angeles, and I started getting phone calls from Reggie Wright to appear as a witness for Suge.
Well, I don't really know. I don't know how diligent or how helpful you could be. That's what we're trying to find out. If you can be helpful or if you're diligent. You know, I gave a statement to Metro. Listen to what I'm saying. I gave a statement to Metro based on what you and Suge asked me to do that night I went to the meeting at Suge's house, okay, about the chain getting snatched. Now, I've already said that. Now, to go in there and say something different than that, that's going to jeopardize a lot. You know, that's perjury there. Okay, this stuff is already on record. I don't know what the FBI is talking about. Are they talking Metro about this? Metro and talk to the FBI about it. They're watching the whole thing. But for me to go get on a witness stand and just be put out like that, well, that's what they're at. Yeah, I gave a statement to Metro already, Reggie.
That's all I'm asking you to do. Just tell them what you told them.
See, I feel they made a mistake because they was directing traffic out instead of taping the whole thing off. I done been in scenes where they make everybody stay till they interview everybody. But it was one in the middle of the road. He was directing traffic, making everybody leave from the Peter Picture Museum. So that Tuesday, Reynolds pulled over my nephew talking about y'all killed Biggie.
And I started getting phone calls from David Kenner. I started getting phone calls from Milton Grimes. I started getting phone calls from all of these different people that was, law enforcement or attorneys wanting me as a witness to what had happened at the MGM that evening that Orlando Anderson had got into that fight. Which report is it out of the three that they're looking that you have? Because he told me, he said,
one that I think that came up is actually, I think, a Compton Police Department report.
Mr. Kenner, I have never spoken to Compton Police Department. Never. I've never been inside of a Compton Police Department.
Oh, he was directing traffic, making everybody leave from the Peter Picture Museum. So that Tuesday, Reynolds pulled over my nephew talking about y'all killed Biggie. So we left about 40 minutes later. We left about 40 minutes later. We came back Sunday. That Monday, we was all sitting in our neighborhood. Reggie Sr., the captain of the Compton Police, comes up, run the stop sign. I guess he had just finished debriefing his soldiers at the Compton PD. He run our stop sign on my street, came up, jumped out of his car and like, hey, motherfucker, let me tell you something, KPD, you killed my son, motherfucker, it's on. Right.
And from that incident, later, I started getting phone calls from Michael Moore, and then a really good friend of mine that I'd grown up with that worked for Reggie over at the office, Larry. And they were, more hands-on and around the people hearing things that obviously I wasn't hearing. And those things like, they want you dead, be careful. They don't want you, don't want you around. I just like, I can say it right out of his mouth, and his girlfriend confirmed it. Really? Yeah. So what you did? She could let me do it. She said that they said you told a lot of stuff against Suge and Bucktree and Pop. Really? I did. Yes, they said that they got the police report saying that you said that hang up in my hands. You said that Suge was kicking. That Bucktree was getting Pop was beating also.
Run the stop sign. I guess he had just finished debriefing his soldiers at the Compton PD. He run our stop sign on my street, came up, jumped out of his car and like, hey, motherfucker, let me tell you something, KPD, you killed my son, motherfucker, it's on. I'm like, what the fuck is you talking about? Fuck you.
They were apparently hearing this information about Frank if he shows up, or if Frank is not, talking on our side and being on our side, that we're gonna have to take him out, And these are words from Michael Moore. Michael Moore was telling me that, that he was hearing this around the office. Michael Moore continued to work for Death Row's office, and he was hearing these conversations, be it with Reggie, be it with Suge, be it with whoever he was hearing it from. They recommend you back in Savannah, or whatever that's worth. I don't know what it means, but that's because he's good. No, he's trying to. They're trying to subpoena me for the next visit, which is at 6 for 25th. But anyway, I just heard that they want me to do it. That's what I just heard. I just got a phone call saying that they want me to do it. Okay. So I wasn't going to say this. I think I better. Okay, that's affirmative. That's true. Even though, how can I say this where it doesn't? That rumor In other words, if you play ball with them, it'll look better if you play ball. But if you don't play ball, so I started getting the death threats indirectly from people that were friends of mine that were calling me, telling me. Then I got a phone call from Reggie Wright. And Reggie Wright wanted me to not answer the phone when the district attorney was calling me to tell me to come down to testify at Suge's trial. Because the DA started calling me, their office started calling me, wanting me to testify against Suge. You get lost in that discipline today? I think you'll be fine. Reggie. So I started talking to friends, and people were like, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't answer the phone. I wouldn't make myself available. He goes, don't make yourself available, because if you do, man, Frank, it's going to be bad for you, you know. And then I got a phone call from Reggie Wright, and he said to me, what are you going to do? You and your white wife going to go into hiding? And I was like, wow, what are you saying here? You know, we'll find you. You know, I'm like, okay, you know, well, what are you going to find me, and what are you going to do? What is this about? Was my question to him.
And so it's basically the city and Compton police is against the South Sides. So, but there was some dudes from the Compton police that I went to school with and played football with at Compton High. Blue, Bookman, Eric Perry, they all came over there and say, we ain't with that bullshit, man. You know what I'm saying? We from the Crip side. And we ain't with that bullshit. Y'all watch y'all ass and start to stay out of Compton. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we know that he was going to come with the Compton police.
Yeah. I didn't believe it when I heard it, but, you know, everybody, I'm on social media with everybody. I comment everybody. And some people told me, yeah, he said this about your dad. So I go, Reggie, what you know, yeah. He said, I went over there. He said, when I heard they were talking about doing those niggas, been not having the Reggie Jr., because, you know, he knew I was running with him. But if y'all do it, y'all gonna have some problems.
He told us to do it, you know?
Yeah.
His captain, they hurt him so bad he died, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. And Michael Moore.
Yeah. And then Perez was all involved. They were trying to kill me too, because Perez and Red was good friends, and Perez and Sarita and Red is great friends. And so all those three together were trying to plot.
Everyone was called to Club 662 to set up the security and get the people rolling in over there. So all of the security was there. Michael Moore, who was with me earlier that evening, supposedly he met us at the MGM. His story to me was Al Giddens, who was the supervisor now for security at this point. Al Giddens told Michael Moore to fuck that. You go and come to the club. He was like, well, Tupac told me to come over to the MGM. He was like, no, we need you over here. You get over here. So Mike went over to the club. So I was the only one left with Pac. Keep in mind, my weapon was in my car. I didn't have a phone. I had no way of communication. Reggie was also over at the club. Reggie normally is Suge's bodyguard. And Reggie is always with Suge. That night, why he wasn't with Suge, only Reggie knows it.
If anything happens, if anything comes up, Red will be the one running the whole thing and get out of Red. Well, I can't see a big
Evening that Monday, about 4 o'clock, about 4:15. Reggie Wright Sr. He comes straight to my fucking house. He come up off of Greenleaf, ran the stop sign and everything, doing about 70 miles per hour. Jumped out. He like, hey motherfucker, let me tell you something, motherfucker. I'm like, what? He like, well, when you kill my son, I'm come get your motherfucking ass. Ooh. I'm like, man, fuck you. He like, I'm just telling you, motherfucker. And I'm like, man, fuck you. Get your punk ass out of here. What the fuck you talking about? Yeah. He's like, I'm just telling you. So maybe about 3 weeks later, my nephew gave me a call and say, meet me at Edie Fall's office, the lawyer's office, and bring 2 straps. So I get there. It's Suge, Reggie Sr., and Sergeant Reynolds. They up there, and they gave us $60,000 to say Lane didn't. Just say testifies saying Lane didn't kick the dude.
So why were they up there?
To protect Suge, I guess. That was just motherfucking hitters, I guess. I don't know. Fuck, I don't know.
Do you feel like they was kind of like the whole Compton PD kind of was
working on their payroll? Yeah, them and that dude, what's that motherfucking name? I was at MDC with him. His name was David Mack. This motherfucker was in a protected custody cell.
Yeah.
The morning that the feds did the raid on us, I took 7 years to jail.
Yeah.
He was in a protected custody cell. I'm like, what up, KPD? What up, KPD?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I didn't even know who the fuck the motherfucker was. Once the marshals got on that elevator, they told me who that motherfucker was.
Yeah, he's the guy that robbed the bank, right?
Yeah.
The police officer.
One of the Suge boys, yeah.
So
He's like, I'm just telling you. So maybe about 3 weeks later, my nephew gave me a call and say, meet me at Edie Fall's office, the lawyer's office, and bring 2 straps. So I get there. It's Suge, Reggie Sr., and Sergeant Reynolds. They up there, and they gave him $60,000 to say Lane and just say testifies saying Lane didn't kick the dude.
So why were they up there?
To protect Suge, I guess. That was his motherfucking head, I guess. I don't know. Fuck them.
Do you feel like they was kind of like the whole Compton PD kind of was
working on their payroll? Yeah, him and that dude, what's that motherfucking name? I was at MDC with him. His name was David Mack. This motherfucker was in a protected custody cell.
Yeah.
The morning that the feds did the raid on us, I was 270 of us in jail.
Yeah.
He was in a protected custody cell. I'm like, what up, KPD? What up, KPD?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I didn't even know who the fuck the motherfucker was. Once the marshals got on that elevator with us, they told me who that motherfucker was.
Yeah, he's the guy that robbed the bank, right?
Yeah.
The police officer.
One of the Suge boys, yeah.
So Baby Lane ends up taking his 60 grand, tells him that, Suge didn't do nothing, and the judge still says.
I can see it's obvious it is on game 9 years.
So at this point, has Puffy ever called you and say, hey, was that y'all, on the Tupac thing, or did he ever call you after that?
I ain't gonna answer that easy, big dog. Say something for the book, my guy. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about Biggie. You mentioned that you like Biggie. He was a cool dude.
Yeah. And
there was an event or a couple of events that Puffy invited y'all to. And you guys went to the events.
The night Biggie got killed.
The night Biggie got killed. Yeah.
He was there outside.
That was at the auto.
Peter's picture, not Peter picture, but Peterson Auto was in.
Yeah.
Peterson Auto.
And you guys are up there just hanging out, kicking it.
Yeah.
And were you guys in there for the party or just hanging out?
We was in there for the party.
Okay.
We was just out for the party. Yeah. Puffy invited us the day before.
So they ended up leaving, and then right before they was leaving, did Puffy say anything to you before they was about to leave? Or
they was like, they finna be at the Beverly Hills, be up there. So once they pulled up out of there, shit, about everybody came back running there. They just killed Biggie. I'm like, damn.
Did you hear the shots or anything? Or
no, I didn't hear shots. Everybody ran in there. He like, he killed Biggie. So LAPD, they didn't lock down the crime scene. They supposed to lock down everybody and question everybody. But they was telling everybody, let's go, let's go.
So Biggie ends up getting killed that night, and what was your guys' feelings on that? Did you guys have any assumptions who it might be, or just what was your guys' feeling?
I figured it was them, the retaliation, because a few people from their side was in the party.
Yeah. So you think he was set up?
All that, yeah. He was ready for him, yeah.
So Biggie ends up getting murdered, and we're gonna save some for the book, but you guys get blamed for Tupac's
and
Biggie's murder.
Yeah, take Ray to my car, all that shit, put the pressure down. Man, I ain't did that shit, and they knew it.
And then basically, and we'll fast forward a little bit.
Tell me what your reaction is to the arrest of Keefe D.
Well, surprise number one, because I didn't think Keefe D would never get arrested. Nor do I want to see him get arrested. Let's get one thing straight first and foremost. Me and Keefe D playing on the same Pop Warner football team. And whatever circumstances, if he had an involvement with anything, if he didn't have any involvement with anything, who want to see? I wouldn't wish somebody going to prison on my worst enemy.
The DA says that Keefe D was in the car with his nephew, and that presumably his nephew, according to the DA, is the one that shot Tupac, and that it was done with the full knowledge of Keefe. Do they have it right?
There was only 2 people in the car. And Pac not going to tell the story. I ain't going to tell the story, but I tell you this. And I never had nothing bad to say about Orlando because, number one, he wasn't the shooter. Number 2, he came to my ear and told to let me go and tell the truth. They still didn't let me go.
If you are called to testify in this case?
I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be.
Why not?
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
Why not?
Well, number one, because I'm not going to get on the stand and testify on somebody for what?
They seem to be saying that Orlando was the shooter and Keefe was in on it, that he had full knowledge of what was going down, and it was revenge for Orlando getting beaten up by Tupac and his team at the MGM after the Tyson fight. Is that correct?
No.
Then who shot Tupac?
It wasn't Anderson, so that's all I got to say about that part.
To summarize, you are saying Orlando was not the shooter, although you won't say who the shooter was. You are not saying whether Keefe was involved in any way in the shooting. And you are saying that if you're called to testify by either side, you will not comply. You will not testify. Do I have that right?
1,000%. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't testify. None of that. You know, at the end of the day, free Keefe D.
The Ashley Find What You Love and save up to $1,000 store-wide Black Friday event on now.
What's it like working at Merrill? We asked our team.
Every week's different. It's very rarely the same thing over and over. When you take a solid block of
The DA's office says Knight took part in the beating of Anderson last September.
Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight were kicking Orlando, who was on the ground at that time.
Deputy DA Bill Hodgman backed up the video evidence with testimony from the hotel security manager, Annette Machuca, who said she tried to stop the fight. The judge is not allowing...
They came back in there. Biggie did. And the LAPD, I feel they made a mistake because they was directing traffic out instead of taping the whole thing off. I done been in scenes where they make everybody stay till they interview everybody.
Around the time of Suge Knight's trial, so Suge had been arrested in Los Angeles, and I started getting phone calls from Reggie Wright to appear as a witness for Suge.
I don't even know. I don't know how delicate or how helpful you could be. And so we're trying to find out if you can be helpful or if you're diligent. You know, I gave a statement to Metro. Listen to what I'm saying. I gave a statement to Metro based on what you and Suge asked me to do that night I went to the meeting at Suge's house, okay, about the chain getting snatched. Now, I've already said that. Now, to go in there and say something different.
When I first shot at you, people were in the head. I thought he was dead. Like, damn, he's dead.
Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, accused of ordering the murder of Tupac Shakur, wants out of jail on bail. But prosecutors say they have him on jail calls talking about possibly killing a witness. So will Keefe D. be released? And just how tough of a gangster was he? A former Compton gang cop is here to tell us. I'm Anjanette Levy. It's Friday, and this is Crime Fix, Law and Crime's look at the biggest stories in the world of crime. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis faces a murder charge in Las Vegas. He's accused of ordering the murder of rapper Tupac Shakur back in 1996. We've told you before that Tupac, Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight, and others jumped Keefe D's nephew, Orlando Anderson, after the Mike Tyson fight at the MGM Grand on a night in September of 1996. Keefe D, according to prosecutors, and his own words for that matter, wasn't having it. He's accused of ordering the murder of Tupac Shakur and giving his nephew the gun to carry it out. Keefe D, Orlando Anderson, Terrence Brown, and DeAndre Smith were all riding in a white Cadillac when they pulled up next to the BMW Suge Knight was driving and Orlando Anderson fired. Keefe D wrote about this in his book, Compton Street Legend, and he's talked about that night in several interviews.
Y'all was actually waiting at 662 for Tupac and Orlando to fight, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that, because Orlando actually wanted to fight Tupac, right?
Yeah, you're going to get his ass knocked out. Laying at hands. One punch.
Oh, for real? He had hands?
Oh, hell yeah. Like, yeah.
So tell me about that. Orlando saying he wanted to fight Tupac and have a heads up with him.
We just, I was going to tell Suge, let him get down. That's all. He's just going to beat his ass.
It's everything you wish for. Your site traffic is skyrocketing until this happens. Be careful what you wish.
Now, it's important to point out that Keefe D thought he had immunity, but he didn't, since he told this story to police back in the mid-2000s as part of a proffer in his drug case. Keefe D is asking a judge to let him out of jail on bail. He says he's 60 now, he's in remission for cancer, and isn't a danger to the community. But prosecutors are opposing that request. They say Keefe D is on jail calls, furious with witnesses who testified at the grand jury against him, and his son is talking about a green light on their side. A green light, prosecutors say, is an authorization to kill, and the feds are even providing resources to one witness so he could move. So how big of a gangster was Keefe D in all actuality? I talked to former Compton Gang Unit Officer Bobby Ladd, author of Once Upon a Time in Compton, to find out.
had many contacts with Keefe D. I say I grew up with him because I was only 23 years old when I started, and he was a few years younger than me, but I started, and I watched this guy grow up in the neighborhood. We used to chase him around in the Southside area. We even arrested him at one time, you know? So it's like I saw him become this start, you know, just selling narcotics as a street fill dealer. And I saw him become this huge narcotics dealer that he ended up selling narcotics all the way across the country. So I watched him become a shot caller within the Southside Crips gang.
So tell me, how big of a drug dealer was Keefe D? Some people think that he has kind of bragged and overstated his importance or his kind of level that he reached in that drug trade. I mean, was he as big of a drug dealer as he claims to be?
He really was. He was the real deal. The reason I know this because Compton, like I say, was a small city, and we worked the gang unit, and we were inundated with shootings and murders. We didn't have the resources or the manpower to go after somebody that's selling narcotics across the country like Keefe D was. So during my time in the gang unit, I was hit up numerous times by FBI task force and DEA task force that wanted to go after Keefe D. So they would tell me what he was doing, and so we would exchange information. We'd give him, you know, all the people he's hanging around with and his associates. We exchanged information, and they told us way back then that, hey man, this guy's running major kilos and ECP all the way across the United States. So he really was the real deal.
Ladd testified at the grand jury as a gang expert about life in Compton and what happened after Tupac was murdered.
Now, the night Tupac was shot, my partner Tim and I, we were on our days off, and we get a call from our boss, Reggie Wright Sr., and he tells us about the shooting, and he goes, hey man, we're here in the Southside Crips. That's the information I'm getting, and the war is coming back to Compton. You guys just beware, get ready, because it's coming back. And sure enough, a couple days later, we had our first shooting. We were on our days off, and Reggie had called us in. One of the OGs from Southside Crips was shot, and a 10-year-old little girl got shot in the crossfire. She was in critical condition. So he said, hey man, you guys need to get your butts down here so these guys see you driving around the city, right? When we got there that day, it was kind of eerie because Compton's usually bustling, man. People everywhere, people at the parks, everything. And we were driving around and there was nobody out. I mean, it was weird. We were like looking at each other go, man, these people know the streets talk, you know? At least we were driving around and we didn't see anybody out at the time. It was kind of weird. So we knew something was coming. And sure enough, it did.
Ladd also told me they knew days after Tupac was shot who was responsible.
We had informants call us that 2 days later, right? The Cadillac was already gone. So on this street on Alondra, there was a car shop where they repaired cars and a lot of Crips and hung out there. It was a known place. We got a call from our informant, and they said that Gary Monk and I think it was Orlando brought this car into their place. They had a bullet hole in the back, right? And they repaired it and let him go. But our informant didn't call us till 2 days later. So we were pissed about that, right? So we were never able to track down that Cadillac with supposedly a bullet hole in it because I guess Untry was supposedly shot back at the Cadillac after they shot Tupac and Suge in Vegas.
So if they knew all of this, why was no one arrested for 27 years? Ladd says the answer is simple. No one was cooperating.
You know, you have to have people who are there that's going to ID somebody, you know? So I always put it on Suge Knight because he was the one that was there, and I believe that he saw Keefe D. You know, they grew up together, and Suge Knight's the kind of person, he already said it, hey, let the police do it. But he could have said it, he could have told the truth 27 years ago, and we probably wouldn't be going through this now. That's what I just put it on Suge Knight, because gang cases are really, really hard. I've investigated thousands of gang cases, and they're hard to prove, man, because nobody wants to be involved.
Joining me to discuss this claim by prosecutors in Keefe D's case is Adrienne Lobo. She's a criminal defense attorney in Las Vegas. Adrienne, welcome back to Crime Fix. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Adrienne, prosecutors are saying, look, there is plenty of evidence to show that Keefe D ordered Tupac Shakur's murder, and not only that, but we have jail calls where it appears he's talking with his son about possibly harming a witness. We don't know exactly which witness it is, but they say that the feds have stepped in and are helping provide protection to at least one witness in this case. So what do you make of the prosecution's claim and how that bodes for Keefe D's effort to get out on bail?
Right. Words matter. They're critical within the context of all, and a whole transcript should be produced and the actual audio recording of that call. Within the context of the quotes that are mentioned in the opposition, it appears as though that they're saying the green light on them. And so it says them. So
Miho's down 10%.
So, what are we thinking? Buy the dip, get rich. Let's dig a little first. Dig? It's Mifu, a meat-based tofu company. Exactly. Catch your head in the ground.
Semantics matters, right? The way when I initially read it is that it could be interpreted that somebody put a hit on, of course, Dwayne Davis's family or somebody associated with them, and then perhaps in retaliation we have the quote I mentioned talking about, you know, we're made for war, but saying we're made for war. They say we're made for war. So it's not as though it's an affirmative possessory statement that they're making that would affirmatively show that. Words do matter. I know that there is concern. It's always something in any criminal case about witness intimidation and dissuasion and, you know, keeping people safe.
Yeah, so the prosecution was concerned enough, though, that they got some type of federal assistance to keep Devontae Lee safe. Devontae Lee testified at the grand jury that one of the people in the white Cadillac that night said, you know, that he's saying that DeAndre Smith said, Big Dre said, no, it was actually me who shot him, not Orlando. However, you know, he's still putting Keefe D in the car and saying Keefe D is the one that, you know, said this should all happen. And that's hearsay, of course, but it's still somebody who testified at grand jury. The thing that I think is so wild about this is that Keefe D's mouth is what's gotten him in trouble up to this point. And now he can't stop talking in jail on jail calls. Everybody knows those are recorded. He knows the drill. He knows those things are recorded.
And that's why the hesitation on my part is that you really be that excited, right? And I have to imagine, I've been a defense attorney for 17 years. I know the defense attorneys in his case, and I know that we strongly admonish our clients to not speak about any sort of matters such as, you know, the litigation of the case, witnesses, for hiring, etc., because it's all free game, right? And we say do not talk about those phone calls, period. And so the fact that this statement was made, as an attorney or a defense attorney, I would want to know what the surrounding framework of that conversation got to it. And if federal assistance was given, that is okay. That's routinely given, both in state and federal matters. In criminal cases, witnesses can apply for, you know, funds to supplement rent, moving expenses, things like that. So it's pretty routine, the state side of things that I've seen. So I don't necessarily know that that is something that is going to be like the linchpin, but I understand the need for it, you know, to err on the side of caution in the meantime to make sure that, you know, this is appropriately vetted.
Adrienne Lobo, thanks again for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Anjanette.
Keefe D will be back in court next Tuesday. At that time, the judge will decide whether or not to allow Keefe D to be released on bail. That's it for this episode of Crime Fix on Friday, January 5th, 2024. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you back here on Monday. Until then, have a great weekend.
In the game of life, don't get sidelined because you're without health coverage. Having health coverage and using it will put you on the offense in needing a health